Okay, so there's a couple of things I need to find in here. And I think this is the bin we're looking for. Alright, so this is the bin that goes in the bottom of the hatch under the console. That we need to cut in yet. This is another hatch. That's the hatch that's going to go forward of the front seat. And this is the bin we were looking for right here. So let's see. Well, we got timer, extension cord. Don't need those. Hose with a quick disconnect. This is for washing the boat down. This nightmare here is our wiring harness that we're going to have to go through to figure out which wire went where. And that is what I'm looking for. That is the fitting that goes through the back at the engine. So it's like a bulkhead fitting for the fuel line. We're going to need that today. Now there's two more things that we need to find, and one of them I'm pretty sure is right there. That battery box, and if you look way in there, there's the other battery box. So we have two batteries on this boat, so we want to see if we can get those two battery boxes to fit. Go ahead and run our fuel line, put that fitting back on. So let's get started. Now it's ready to be installed. So this is where that stuff is going to go. And the first problem, yeah, these battery boxes aren't going to make it. You know, we can't even get this one to sit up with the lid next to that one, which is okay, not the end of the world. These battery boxes with the covers on them, like this, these are basically made to be on a deck where they're going to be exposed to some of the weather. Like originally on this boat, they were just in the back mounted on the deck. So you can put the battery in there and keep everything pretty much covered. Here, we got this box with a lid. So we're going to probably go with, maybe we'll put 2 trays in the bottom. Maybe we'll do something else just with some straps. But we have plenty of room. We'll be able to fit the 2 batteries. They're going to be able to slide back probably about that far. Because we're going to have speakers mounted back here. Probably have our battery switch over here. We got a power pole going over here. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. But today what we want to do, I'm going to go ahead and get this fuel filter mounted. So where that's going to get mounted is right there. So we're going to put it here, probably right about there. We'll run our 2 fuel lines into it and out of it. So let's get started on that. The funny thing about this is my original thought was to get this thing mounted, at least get the screws put in there before I mounted this onto the deck. Would have been real easy. This, not so much. We're ready to go ahead and put this in. Now, one of the things we're going to do, we're going to put a little silicone on here. The reason we're going to do that is we do have 2 different metals. We got stainless and aluminum. So I'm just going to try to give it some insulation in between the 2 of them. I don't know if it'll really help much, but we'll see. Then we're just going to put a little silicone on here so that when it goes through, it does maybe give us a little bit of a, there we go, a little bit of seal around the plywood as well. Yeah, this is going to be out of the weather pretty much. And again, it's a little windy. And it's not always this windy here, but we got another front coming through. So tomorrow we're going to be getting some rain, so we're trying to get as much done where we're going to be exposed to the rain as we can. Okay, that's in. Now we just have to run our fuel lines for this. Again, this is our supply from the fuel tank. And this side will be going to the engine. Now the reason we put these on opposing is because the pressure is at the turnbuckle side. So this way it gives even pressure across the hose where it's attached to the fitting. There you have it. Now we'll replace this once we're ready to actually go ahead and start moving some fuel through here. Right now this is just here to keep the dirt and the bugs out. Well, we need to cut some things up with the starboard. One of the things we're going to do is this seat is very long. Okay, it's probably 1.5 feet longer than the front seat, and because of that, this seat does get a little bit of a sag. So we already have this partition here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some starboard to equal this height so it comes flat across. So that'll give some support. Hopefully that'll be enough to support that whole other half. It'll make that half smaller than the front seat, so that shouldn't be a problem. The other thing is, we decided we're going to go with these trays. Now, this tray is going to have to get mounted over top of that. So we're going to need to be able to elevate it. We're also going to want to see how far back we can push these batteries. So these batteries can probably go back, I'm guessing about that far, which gives us plenty of room up here. We're going to put speakers in the front here, so we don't really want them to be hitting the battery or anything. Probably end up putting a courtesy light somewhere in the front of this as well. Then over here on the console, this is going to be C-deck up here, but we want to put a little rail right across here, you know, maybe sticking up, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. So we'll do that out of the starboard, and then we'll just screw it straight down. And this will keep anything that we happen to throw up here. You know, there's going to be a windshield, hopefully. We'll see how that goes, because we're going to build that ourselves. So there'll be a windshield, and this way, you know, if you put your phone up here or something, it can stay up here without sliding down. All right, so let's cut some starboard. Time we did this, GoPro let me down again. So what we're doing now, these are going to be the supports for the back seat. We decided we're going to go with 3 inches, and we need 12 1/8 inch long. These are 15. So this is going to give us about a 3-inch little block. We're going to take that block and put it on the side. So if this is the partition that's there, we're going to screw it like that to that partition, and then we're going to put these on top. So that should give us plenty of support for that back seat. So now let's go ahead and set up for our 12 1/8 and cut our little blocks off. Apparently the GoPro doesn't want to play nice today, but we went ahead and we got these cut. We over drilled the holes for the screws, and then we're going to bring this back there with us so we can drill a pilot for the screws, and let's go see how it works. Now you can see we're a little high here, and you know, although this right here is a little bit higher, it goes out here, it's fine. So this is just on a little bit of an angle, and that's from building up the corner with fiberglass. So it looks like we got to take just a little tiny bit off one of these, and we should be good there. So let's just put our little blocking plates on. Just looking to take just a little bit off. Okay, so we got it in, fixture here, And you can see this side is tight. This side is fairly tight. I think what we'll end up doing is we'll hit this with the sander a little bit just to take that last little bit off, because this side is fitting perfect. We didn't want them to create a space in between the two pieces of starboard. Okay, so this is the one we're going to put in, and I went ahead and I cleaned it and lubed it, so this one will not be all jammed up like the last one we did. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some silicone all the way around here. Drop that right in. We're back into the battery box, and what we've done is we got this one in place. Now there's only 2 screws holding that right now, because we're going to get this one in place. So that's how they're going to fit. You can see this right here is our tow plate. That's if we want to tow tubers or kayaks or whatever behind the boat. That's where that's going to get mounted. Now that doesn't get mounted until after the wall's up, and there's bolts underneath it. So we're just going to get this in place, get the holes, get it so it's ready to get screwed down, and wait till we get the walls up. So that's something else that's being held up by the walls. So what we did is we went ahead and we got our spacers. These spacers are the same thickness as our cover plate. That's right here for our access hole. We do have an access hole underneath the battery. The only reason for that access hole is for the straps on the gas tank. So that's one of those things we're gonna have to get to one time, and that's probably it. But if we have to, It's easy enough. We just go ahead and we'd have to pull this cover off, 4 screws, take the battery out, and then we have access. So first thing we do is screw these down. We're going to put 1 screw in each one to hold that. This is going to go on top then. We'll mark out our 4 screws, drill those holes, put those screws in, and that's it. Ready for the batteries.